Today we've got a real rib rivalry. Jerk baby backs facing against Texas spare ribs. After 30 years behind the smoker, I've seen my share of epic battles. Let's get at these contenders on the smoker and settle this once and for all. Let's start with the dry jerk rub. I like this McCormick's Caribbean chicken seasoning. It has very little salt in it, so I can control it. So we take a couple of tablespoons of the dry jerk and add a teaspoon of salt, and that's it. We just need to mix it up and it's good to go. We can use our little chef's cheat. Add this to an empty spice container. Shake it up. And look at those large openings. That'll be great. Now for our spare ribs, we need 2 parts black pepper and less salt as we did on the brisket. Because this meat is so thin, we're only going to use 1 tablespoon of kosher salt by volume. Adding a little flavor, we'll take a little garlic powder, onion powder, and for color, some paprika. You can use smoked paprika if you prefer. Again, we'll take a old spice container and add it so that we can spread it across evenly on the ribs. For the jerk barbecue sauce, we'll take a 1/4 cup of barbecue sauce, a 1/2 cup of pick-a-pepper sauce. This is my homemade one and I have a video for that if you need it. 2 teaspoons of our dry jerk blend, 2 teaspoons of soy sauce, and I like Tabasco, but you can use any sriracha, 1.5 teaspoons. Mix it all up and set that aside. It's time to trim the ribs. Pat them dry on both sides. We want to make sure our seasoning sticks. We're using a rack of baby back ribs for the Jamaican jerk and a whole rack of spare ribs, which is traditional with Texas barbecue. Baby backs come off the loin near the spine and are leaner than spare ribs, so they don't need to be wrapped. Spare ribs, on the other hand, come off the belly and are fattier and tend to be more juicy if treated properly, but they take a little more trimming than the baby backs and need to be wrapped to protect them. A little bit of extra fat here. The racks come together and are split by a bandsaw down this line, and that gives you the 2 different kinds of racks. We're going to work on the baby back first. We start by trimming off any unusable piece. Now I'm not going to throw any of this away except for maybe the membrane, because I can use this to make sausage. So I'm just trimming off the pieces that would burn. So anything that's very flat or narrow, run your hand down the bones to check for any fragments. Membranes on baby backs are pretty easy. You can just work your finger underneath it, lift up and pull it off. You can discard this because it has no food value. Alright, we're going to trim off this end. That looks pretty good. Not a whole lot of trimming. Now the spare ribs is a little bit different. I want to first take off this breastbone by cutting it off. Now there's a lot of good meat here and I'm not going to waste this. I will use it for something after I trim it off the bone. This is too thin. Again, trimming back the parts that would burn, these little tabs or pieces. Now this end bone actually has been cut by the bandsaw. So we're going to take that off so nobody gets a piece of bone in their meal. Alright, we're going to take this flap off, flip it around. We're going to take off this excess fat right here. Not a lot to do there. And then this big large chunk at the end we're also going to take off because it's going to cause uneven cooking. Go down to the bottom and check. We're going to trim off this really thin slice here. That looks pretty good. Now this was really a pain. I have to tell you, the membrane on the spare rib versus the baby back is much tougher. Usually you can slide a knife underneath the membrane and pull it off in one piece, but I struggled with this one. It ended up coming off in a lot of little pieces. But I got the work done. It just took some time. I'm gonna have bad dreams about this membrane, I can already tell. Little fat that I trimmed off on the bone. I think that might be it. Looks good. Alright, I think we're ready for seasoning. Set up my station. Like you saw in the brisket and the pork, I like to lay out some plastic wraps to protect the counter. And we're just going to shake our rib seasoning over the spare rib. It doesn't take as much as you would think. Compared to a brisket, it's a much thinner slice of meat, so we're going to make sure we don't over salt this, otherwise it could be too salty. That looks pretty good. Yeah, I think we'll be good with that. Clean up a bit, change out my plastic. Second set of plastic here. I don't like to cross-contaminate when I have different flavor profiles. We're going to use our dry jerk rub now. You notice I'm not using a binder. It's not really necessary in this case. I know some people would disagree with me, but of course you can use a binder, a mustard, or something else. Olive oil. If that's what you want to do, you do you. This we can put on reasonably heavy. The meat's thicker and there's less salt ratio in it. Alright, that looks pretty good. Another cleanup. And there we are. We're going to let this set for about 20 minutes. And then we'll take it out to the smoker. But let's go set up the smoker first. Because I'm doing two different flavor profiles, I mixed the pellets. We need to get Berta set up. So let's set it to smoke. Leave the lid up. Now that the pellets have started to smoke, we can close it up, turn it up 275 degrees, and allow it time to come up to temp. Before we get these ribs smoking, if you're into barbecue showdowns and smoky comfort food, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I've got decades of Pitmaster tips and tricks lined up, and you won't want to miss the next cook. 20 minutes later, the smoker's ready, and you can see that the salt is bringing out some of the moisture in the ribs, and these are ready to go on the grill. Let's get it done. Now I'm going to place these the thicker side to the left because my hot box is to the left. So what you'll see is my ribs are set up with the thick part to the left and then thinner going that direction. Same with the other rib because my hot box is there, and that will give me better even cooking. 2 hours later, look at the color. The sun's coming out really bright, so it's a little hard to see.
160. Is it ready to be wrapped? 160.
The back ribs are a little hotter, but they're fine.
Ooh. Juicy. Alright, let's give this spread some apple vinegar.
And while I go in and set up my aluminum foil, then we'll come back for the ribs. Alright. Time for the spare ribs to get a wrapping. I'm using Aaron Franklin's rib sauce, and I'll put a link in the description for the recipe. And I put some down on my foil along with some more apple cider vinegar on both sides. We're going to put this back in the smoker, meat side down. Last time the bone stuck out of the foil, so I've doubled it up this time. We're just going to wrap it up so that it doesn't leak in the smoker. Tuck it in nice and tight, and let's take it back out to the smoker. Finish up. Alright, one good spray, just for good measure. And slide the spare ribs back on to finish. Check out that smoke. If these ribs are making you hungry, smash that like button and let me know in the comments, are you repping Team Jerk or Team Texas today? I want to see where the crowd stands. Time for a check. Getting close. Let's unwrap these spare ribs and give them a temp. If they're close, we're going to flip them over, sauce them, and let them finish up. Yeah, real close. Alright, let's flip them over. Check out the bones. It's getting very pliable. We just need to give it some sauce. Brush that over, and let's let it set up for about another 10 minutes. And I think they'll be ready. Alright, time to pull. They are so done. Let's take them inside. Yeah, we're just going to cover them up while we wait for this other rack of ribs to finish. Keep them warm. They are done now. 50 minutes later and these are done too. Look at that. The last couple of degrees are fine. They'll carry over. Let's bring these in. Now we need to finish by candying our sauce. We're going to brush on our barbecue sauce, and you can be as liberal as you want. I think it's better with more sauce than less. And then we're going to take them over to the broiler. And you're going to see me move them around from left to right because I'm trying to get every surface with this broiler. I'm looking to candy it out. And once it's done, it'll all be nice and bubbly. Oh my Lord, look at that. That looks delicious. I think we're there. There's our jerk baby back and our Texas spare ribs. Who's ready to eat? I am. Let's give these a cut. They're resisting a bit, which is fine. I like my ribs to have some chew to them.
Ooh, tender. Juicy.
Look at that. All right, here we go.
Clean bone. Smoky. Classic. Just really, really good. And an inexpensive. I paid like $9 for that whole rack of ribs, and it's going to feed 4 people. So what? A little over $2 a person? Now let's try the jerk. Not as clean a bone. Honest, don't care. I would prefer it to be a little chew than so tender that it's mushy. Wow, that's a tough one. That's a really tough one, but I am happy. All right, moment of truth. Both of these rib styles brought their best. Caribbean jerk with that sweet heat and punchy island spice, and Texas with that classic smoky bark and deep flavor. I've been at this for 30 years, and honestly, both of these deserve some serious respect. You know what? This isn't a showdown with a clear outlaw and hero. Both of these ribs have earned their place at the table. So I'm breaking out the official Sheriff Approved stamp. Because sometimes the best barbecue battles end with both sides winning. That's right, double Sheriff Approved. All right, deputies, badges have been handed out, but now it's your turn to weigh in. Are you throwing your support behind Team Jerk or sticking with the Texas Classics at your next cookout? Drop your pick in the comments. I want to see which posse you're riding with. Later, partner.